Don't look at me like that. Y'all know what time it is, as it always is. And you already know we about to talk about something real. Now, I did some digging as well as say hi, one of my commenters. You know what? I mean, we talked and I see what you were saying. I'm not mad at you, man. I'm not mad. I don't know, man. I mean, we talked very detailed about what was happening. I see where they're going. And it was a thought. If you remember a couple videos ago, I was like, I hope that it's not what I think it is. So we're going to get into that in the next video. Shout to say hi. You'll catch them in the comments and things like that. But what I want to actually talk about real quick is who was interviewing the witness. Now, you know, I know interviewers, you know what I mean? Who was interviewing the witness? And I know that a lot of you are probably like, what? Who was interviewing the witness? What news station? See, that's key. It wasn't a news station. What major news station was doing the interview? It wasn't one. See, now when you think of it like that, you're like, well, who was? It was like, it sounded like a sophisticated female's voice. Sounded like they were in a news uniform, very well, let's say, planned. And I'll just leave it there for now. But I want to say, I don't know what your name was. I don't know what stake you had in this issue. All I do know is that from sources and information, you are related to somebody of prevalent importance to this case. Now, I'm not sure the why behind what you did, but when I remember, there was no news station that these things came on. It was all social media based. So all of our updates were coming from news media sources. Now, why is that important? You asked me that. Why is that important? Let me tell you why. Because that tells me there were no professional / media related groups on the scene during when the crime happened. Now, normally in a situation like this, people will shrug their shoulders and keep it moving, but I can't do that in this one for this simple fact. It could have been very easily that you were put in place to play a newscaster in order to prevent real news from being released. Now remember, the real news sites, when they arrived, all the investigation was centered around Tentacion's car. All the pictures were centered around images of Riva Motorsports. None of it was centered around the witness or the details, the passenger. None of it was. And when I look at it like that, everything begins to make sense. And I'll get to that in a little later. But come on, dude. It's really starting to make sense. And I say, dude, I'm talking to prosecutors, authorities. This was never questioned. So a murder happens, okay? Me and my boys are like, yo, we are about to do the news. Not only do we go do the news, but you allow it to surface on social media, and the only account of any true witness identification, passenger identification, is all handled by a freelance, unlicensed party. How does that work? Because I don't remember the reporter's name being given, and it was entered on a random social media. So how does this work? Now, I may be a little dumb. Somebody tell me if I'm a little confused, but how was that allowed as legal news and no one was questioned or no footage or information was confiscated? This man was able to just put up a picture of a dying superstar and it just rocked the nation, rocked the social media, broke news. And no one ever questioned who did this, who broke the news, who just rocked the media like that. No one asked that. Now, see, again, I ask these questions up front, but I kind of stand back because I don't really know if and when but through news and information I'm sent by my fellow commentators who have actually become good friends in speaking and getting to know some of them a little better so that I'm able to trust them and what they say. Now, let me add this too. Not only is that the case, but bruh, and no disrespect to bruh or cuz, whatever you rep, whatever you put up, because I know the public watches what I put up, so no disrespect to New York, especially anybody here repping, because I know you guys watch me. Now, I want to ask this. Is what the witness did snitching? We ask subjective questions here. Is what the witness did snitching? Telling about exactly how it went down. So if he did that, how come he was not a major force in finding out what exactly happened? Think about that. Now, this guy stepped up onto an unknown media source. There wasn't any marker showing who it was. It was just a video thrown online. And we have become so used to online media and watching viral videos, we never questioned the analytics or the logistics on how it was set together. That is perfect for a setup. And we already knew this, but when I say that, I'm alleging that that newscaster and the witness were fakes. Now, we already have people in custody, so I can't call whether they were faking everything about it or the details surrounding it. But what I can say is these guys were fakes. They were fakes. He wasn't a real witness, but he was. You get what I'm saying? What he said, none of it was true. But what he said he did probably wasn't any truer. And in my next video, we're going to get to asking this witness, whose name I'm going to throw up. We're going to give him a random name. I'm going to shoot it in the ballpark. You already know we're objective. So this man sat up there and said what happened, but you ran inside. So newscaster, when he was telling the story, what didn't you get? You just accepted what he was saying, which makes you even faker. I mean, there are news when you're disrespecting news anchors, newscasters all over. When people say funny stuff, they literally ask them, what? On the spot. You didn't really do that. And I had many cases where that was done and a newscaster was basically downplaying everything a person said because it made no sense. But you just accepted every word, every verb, like they were just so true. When there were so many questions, he contradicted himself 2 times within it. And we're going to get into that again. But everybody, the reason I'm pushing this is because what actually happened wasn't what you think. And I know that up front. I'm not going to beat around the bush on it. I'm not planning to actually do a solving case for this. We're just going to talk around it because you're smart individuals. I don't think you guys deserve for me to play with you like that. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not going to come out and just blurt it out at you. We already see what's happening. I'm dancing around it so that critical thinking is more what the focus is rather than us just accepting what happened, even in the future. You need to learn to think critical about different situations. We can't sit here and just accept what happens. Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, he's this, he's that. Listen, sometimes it is a game with your mind. That's what you got to understand. And there's many different parts to this that I could just destroy even further. But what I want the focus to be is, was that newscaster real? Was that witness real? What was the thing? And I mean, the next part, we're really going to get into the witness. But was that news anchor real? What was your news station? If I'm lying, hit my comments, say your news station, post a link, and that will be a slap in the face to me. If that newscaster, news anchor, giving that questioning, interrogation, whatever they called it, tell me the story, whatever they called it, if they were real, give a slap in the face and hop in the comments, post their channel, post a link to it, to a legit website, and I'll shut the F up about this. And that's YouTube's words. I went through it. I had to respect it. I will shut up about this. I won't mention anything else dealing with this newscaster. I really want to know, were you real? I don't think you were real. And I have a good idea who you actually were. Say hi. Because it just backed up everything that I was thinking. I'm like, who was this woman? Who would have access to a random woman showing up? And I think that's going to begin to lead us to a truth here. You know, and if you even go back a few videos, it's all, listen, all my videos link together. Whether you get it now or not, everything links together. Every XxTentacion video I did, whether it's jury, and judge, whether I was just talking about prosecution, I haven't even got to the defense yet. You see, because I don't know if these 4 men were fall guys. So I don't know what it's truly they're going to defend against, because there's no solid evidence that was presented other than them flashing cash. Let's be real, objectively, they were just flashing cash online. Whether it was after that happened, whether it was before, they were just flashing cash. If they don't have a lawyer that can fight from that standpoint, he doesn't need to be a lawyer. Honestly. It's so many points to beat. Unless they have solid DNA evidence, what are you really fighting up against? Or what are these men really doing? We're just going to get to the witness. I'll talk about that more in the defense of the case. But yes, I got another hit dropping for you. It's going to be all about the witness, and I will go into detail on that. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.